Starting lineups for the Milton Redhawks, and head coach Chris Agnew 0-1 on the season, losing to Verona yesterday by a score of 10-2. Leading off, playing center field is Peyton Belk. He's a senior. Batting second, playing second base is senior Cam Van Natta. Senior at shortstop, batting third is Sam Beers. Tanner Williams is in the cleanup spot in right field. He's also a senior. A junior batting fifth is the catcher, Caleb Dahman. At first base, batting sixth is senior Jerry Lipke. The designated hitter in the seventh spot is Memphis Moore. He's a junior. Also a junior at third base, batting eighth is Bailey Nickel. And batting ninth is sophomore left fielder Colin Schutz. On the mound for the Redhawks is Fletcher Terrell. For Janesville Craig and head coach Vic Herbst. Batting first at shortstop is junior Dan Blomgren. Pitching is senior Noah Berghammer. He'll bat second. Batting third is senior Jacob Campbell. He'll do the catching. In the fourth spot at first base is senior Luke Malmanger. Batting fifth is J.J. Brennan in center field. He's also a senior. The designated hitter in the sixth spot is Clark Schmaling. He's a junior. Batting seventh is senior Ross March in left field. Hitting eighth is the right fielder Tresson Kusmal. He's a junior. And also batting ninth at third base is junior Jacob Hessling. The Cougars, again coached by Vic Herbst, also playing second will be Tegan Christensen. Opening pitch is a ball by Noah Berghammer to Peyton Belk, and we are underway here at Veterans Field. Berghammer into the lineup again on a 1-0 count. That's down the middle for strike one. Evens the count at 1-1. Game time temp is 47 degrees down here at Veterans Field, which balmy. I think it's, again, a good idea that we got this in a day early.
Yes.
1-1 pitch by Berghammer is good for strike two, taken by Belk. It's 1-2 the count to the opening batter.
And this is for Berghammer, this is big because he's got to play a much more prominent role on the mound this year. I mean, last year was just some spot duty, but this year, if things work out, Wolfley will be the hammer, and then you come back with Berghammer after that, and especially when you get into tournament play, if you get into that sectional, it's nice to have that 1-2 punch. So this is going to be a big season for Noah.
Low and outside on that last pitch brings it to 2-2. Berghammer into the windup. Here he comes. Ground ball hit to second. Christensen takes it off the chest. He's got time, but he beats him. Peyton Belk beats it out at first base, and the opening runner is aboard for Milton.
At E4, and Tegan will be the first to tell you got to come up on that. You can't let the ball play you, and he kind of sat back and waited, and once it got there, he bobbled it, and Belk with good speed to beat that out. So a good start for the Redhawks.
So an error by Christensen, and a runner aboard is Belk for Cam Van Natta, the second baseman. Right-handed batter will step in against Berghammer.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Belk will not be stealing.
Okay.
It's just,
I don't think you're going to get much stealing against Janesville Craig this year. Opening pitch is a little high and tight to Van Natta. It's 1-0. Berghammer at the plate. Big day yesterday in Lake Geneva with a triple down the right field side and then a homer to left center. There's another one, comes back, and it's high for ball two. 2-0 to Van Natta. Runner at first, nobody out. We're in the top of the first here at Veterans Field on a Good Friday for boys baseball. Preseason number one team for Janesville Craig. Here comes Berghammer down the middle for strike one. 2-1 to Van Natta, the Milton second baseman.
And right away, a little adversity for Berghammer. Leadoff guy gets aboard on an error, and you can't let that get in your head. He falls behind 2-0 on the next batter, and we'll see if he can battle back here and get an out.
Comes set. And a quick move to first base. Runner is back as Belk goes in with a head first slide. Well, it's always interesting with some of the guys that you can. I mean, Christensen didn't play the infield yesterday, and automatically he gets the second base spot. Blomgren moves from third to short, and Hessling goes in at third. Here it comes from Berghammer, a little high and inside. 3-1 to Van Natta. So you really need see what your versatility has for you at the high school level with a lot of shuffling, because usually your pitchers are, when they're not pitching, they're playing the field.
Well, especially this point of the year where, the infield's got a lot of growing to do. The grass isn't up yet, and, you're not going to get a lot of true hops at this point of the year because the ground is so hard. And there's ball four.
3-1 pitch is up high, and Van Natta will take a walk, and Belk moves to second. So 2 on and nobody out for the Red Hawks as Sam Beers, the shortstop, will step in. Another right-handed hitter.
Shortstop, Sam Beers.
3-hitter, I wouldn't think he'd bunt, but first inning and first 2 guys on, he may lay one down here with your 4-hitter on deck, but we'll see how Chris Agnew decides to play this.
Quick move to second base, throws wide of the bag towards the right field side as Blomgren goes to cover in, and Belk again in with a head-first slide back safely. Well, you always want to play with that lead.
Well, I think when you're playing a team like Craig, I mean, if you can get off to a decent start and, now I'm not saying put a lot of pressure on them, but at least let them know that, hey, we're here, you're not going to walk right over us. I think a lot of times you maybe play for that run.
Mm-hmm.
You get that runners over to second and third. You got your 4 and 5 hitters coming up, and you hope you can get a scratch out an early run or 2 and, put a little pressure on them.
Swing and a miss, strike 1 to Beers. Berghammer comes set again. Here he comes to the plate. There's a line drive through the gap at shortstop. It's to left, and the throw comes on. It's cut off, and a run will score on an RBI single by Sam Beers. Belk comes in. It's 1-0 Red Hawks. Still nobody out with runners at second and third. And the batter will be the cleanup hitter, Tanner Williams, with, again, 2 men on and nobody out.
I don't think the Red Hawks really care too much about Craig's ranking right now. I think they just came out and said, hey, look, they guys put their pants on the same way we do, so let's just go out and play. And a great start for them. I mean, that was a hanging curveball that Beers ripped into left field, and he sent the runner right away. There was no play at the plate, so they're still in good shape. 1-0.
Here's the first pitch. That catches the outside corner for strike 1 to Tanner Williams, playing right field. It's 0-1. Already 1 hit, 1 run for the Milton Red Hawks.
And I'm pretty sure that Tanner Williams and I believe Campbell and some other kids, I think they were on that World Series team that I think when they were 14 or 13, something like that.
Who can keep track of that? Somebody's
exactly.
always going out there.
They're always going, but I'm pretty sure that Williams was on one of those teams, and obviously Jake was on the team, and I believe Jordan Bailey from Parker was on that team as well. So there's some kids that have played at a pretty high level.
1-1 pitch high and inside, and Campbell's now going to have a chat with Berghammer as he runs the count to 2-1 on Tanner Williams. Again, nobody out. Red Hawks strike first in the top frame. The leadoff hitter, Peyton Belk, comes around to score on a single by Sam Beers.
And again, it's that little adversity right off the bat. I mean, is this a different inning if Christensen makes the play and gets the out? But you just, sometimes when little things like that happen, it escalates. And, Noah's just got to calm down, throw strikes, and try to get out of this without any more damage.
He's been up around the zone a couple of times. 2-1 pitch now coming back, and that's to third. 1 hopper, and a throw across the diamond, and the stretch and the dig by Malmanger. They're going to say he was off the base. Thought he might have held it and then pulled his foot after he got the hop from third from Hessling. So they get 1, and the throw across pulls Malmanger off the bag. So there's now 1 out, but still runners at first and second.
A nice, great play there by Hessling. Knocked the ball down, step on third, but I don't think he realized how much time he had to make the throw to first, and I think he rushed a little bit instead of just stepping, making the long throw across the diamond, and I think he gets the double play if that happens.
So 5-3, or 5 unassisted, and then the throw to first. Takes the fielder's choice. And now Caleb Dahman, the catcher, will hit as he takes the ball from Berghammer. 1 down. Beers to second. Williams reaches safely at first. And here's the pitch. It's hit in the air.
That'll be infield fly rule.
Yep, as the shortstop settles under it. Blomgren will make the call and call off March, who came all the way in from left field, and there is 2 down. And the batter will be Jerry Lipke, the senior first baseman.
And really not sure the scouting report. Melton's 1 game into the season, but if you look at that outfield, that's about as shallow as you're going to see an outfield play right now.
About 1 step on the grass.
It's a case where March could have easily made that play, and that's on an infield fly rule. So, scouting report maybe is, there's a pickoff
pickoff play, and he's got him at second base. as Beers is picked off, and that will get the third out for
Milton, the top of
the Red Hawks. So one run, one hit, one error, and now one man left on base. We're through a half inning at Veterans Field. The Red Hawks have the lead 1-0 with Janesville Craig coming up. So Dan Blomgren will settle in, the junior shortstop for the Cougars, as Terrell takes the mound. And the opening pitch is a little low and blocked by the catcher for Milton, Caleb Dahman. So 1-0 to Blomgren. Craig first time up. We're in the bottom half of the first inning, but Milton is up 1-0. Here it comes again, and that's over for a strike taken by Dan.
Now, I haven't talked to Vic. I know Blomgren battled a foot injury during the basketball season. I know you and I saw him miss a few games. He was in a walking boot one time, so I don't know if he's 100% or if he's still, bothered by that at all. But, again, a good opportunity for him with this lineup. How great would it be to hit leadoff?
Oh, seriously.
Goodness.
You could run for days. So that one catches the outside corner, 1-2, and now Terrell comes back again with a curveball. That one's lifted out of play right field side past the dugout. So it'll stay 1-2 to Blomgren. Berghammer and Campbell to follow. Wind is blowing out towards right center today. And here comes Terrell. Ground ball wide of third. Deep in the hole, it's short as Beers, and they will never get Blomgren running down the line. It was offline up on the inside of the first base and pulled off the first baseman, Jerry Lipke, but it didn't really matter. Blomgren was going to get a base hit on that one anyway.
Yeah, good speed there, and exactly what you want. Hit the ball on the ground, use your speed, and now he's on. And
now he's got an average for the season after an 0-for-4 day.
Let the fun begin. A nice play there by Beers. I mean,
for sure.
In the hole, made a long throw, and there might be guys on the team that he can get, but Blomgren's not one of them.
So now up is Noah Berghammer. Nobody out, leadoff man aboard for the Cougars, and that one goes to the backstop, and Blomgren will get to second. On what should be, I would say, a wild pitch there.
I would say a wild pitch, but again, you can get your glove on it. You should probably catch that, but,
that was
that kind of
quite a bit inside.
It looked like almost maybe Dahman might have got crossed up on that, because it didn't look like he was expecting the heater, and that's what he got.
So Blomgren down to second base. 1-0 the count to Berghammer. Here comes Terrell. Hit in the air, foul right field side. And evens it at 1-1. Triple and a homer yesterday for Berghammer against Lake Geneva.
Berghammer, put on some size. He obviously knows where the weight room is, and a kid that,
picked off play, and now it's into center field as Terrell tosses it to the right field side of second base. And Van Natta came over to cover, and he went to go apply the tag, but he had to come back across his body and just couldn't reach that one.
Yeah, that error's got to go on the pitcher. It's just a poor throw. And again, I mean, you spend so much time worrying about a guy on base, and, you got to get the hitter. You got to get outs.
That one hit up the middle. Going to his right is Van Natta. Finally comes up with it, but he's safe over at first. So Berghammer beats out ground ball to Van Natta.
Berghammer get an RBI, but not a base hit. That's an error. That's a play that's got to get made. And but an RBI, we're tied up. And
boy, Milton's struggling from the field already.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and that's again, I mean, it's
outstanding catcher Jacob Campbell.
It's easier to say from up here what you got to do, but I saw a little bit of that in the Parker game earlier this week. Is kids got to learn to come up and play the ball and not sit back on their haunches and wait for the play to come to them, because a lot of times you just don't get that hop. Whereas if you come up on the ball, you can eliminate that in between hop that a lot of times will give you trouble.
So Blomgren scores from third on the grounder to Van Natta. Berghammer gets the RBI. He's at first, nobody out, and now here's Campbell, the catcher. He flies one to center as Belk parks under it and makes the grab. Retreating to first is Berghammer, one out on the fly out to center from Campbell. But it's tied at one apiece now with Luke Malmanger, the first baseman, due up. Malmanger yesterday, 1 for 4. in the cleanup spot.
This day and age, too, in high school, you don't see a lot of pitchers that'll run for themselves, or catchers for that matter. Craig obviously has both with Campbell and today Berghammer. And, you know, if Berghammer can get a good read off of Terrell, he may take off.
Strike one looking from Malmanger. Well, you don't see a whole ton of pitchers unless you're a really good hitter. Most of them don't hit.
No.
But at this level, kids still like to hit. Here it is. There goes the runner. Throw will be high, and Berghammer in there with a stolen base.
Right on cue.
He goes to second. So runner in scoring position for the Cougars. One down, tied at one apiece. Bottom of the first, 1-1 count to Luke Malmanger.
Luke, first-team All-Conference last year, headed to Whitewater to play football, but certainly hopes to end his prep career with another big season.
There's one up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher, and past Beers into center field. Coming around to score is Berghammer, and the Cougars grab the lead at 2-1.
Yeah, that's how you manufacture a run.
Right back up the middle.
Get on an error, steal second, and then a little duck snort into the outfield that goes off the pitcher's glove, and suddenly the Cougars are back on top.
So second hit in the inning for the Cougars and an RBI for Malmanger as Berghammer comes in. Luke's aboard at first for J.J. Brennan, the center fielder.
J.J. heading to Judson College, had himself a good summer last year, playing for his traveling team and opened enough eyes that they came in and said, hey, why don't you come play for us? And everything I've read about Judson, it's a very good program and great facilities, so good for him.
First pitch from Terrell graces the outside corner, as that one does as well, and it's 0-2 now to Brennan. Brennan yesterday 0 for 2 against Lake Geneva. Malmanger aboard at first base. Still one out here in the bottom of the first inning, but Craig has the lead. Here comes Terrell. There goes the runner. Malmanger is going to get down to second, and he's in there with a stolen base. So Malmanger to second. Brennan took ball one, and it's 1-2.
Well, and I think Ben Yacher at first, the first base coach, has picked up on something because when Blomgren let off the game, he got caught leaning and fortunately was able to get back. And
that one hits Brennan around the kneecap area, and he will head to first base. So now 2 on with 1 out for Clark Schmaling, the DH.
You know, and you look at Terrell, he's a sophomore. I mean, this is a tough spot. You know, you're on the road. You're facing the preseason number 1 team in the state, making obviously your first varsity start. I mean, that's asking a lot. And I'm sure if he can get out of this inning and give up only the 2 runs, which, a couple of errors hurt him as well, you got to build on that. And you just hope for his sake that it doesn't get away from him here.
So stepping in will be Schmaling, the DH. First and second. 1 out for the Cougars. As the lefty Terrell comes set, here's his first offering at a down low for ball 1. So Craig already with a couple of stolen bases, and this is a program that likes to be aggressive, and they, again, start this game out following that mantra. Second pitch from Terrell is a strike taken.
Well, I think it was last year. I think Jack Blomgren had, I want to say, 26 or 27 stolen bases.
That's not terrible.
That's more than a lot of teams have the entire year.
1-1 the count. 1 down for Schmaling. Here comes Terrell. Check swing, but taken for a strike. 1-2 now, as Craig has a 2-1 lead. Runners at first and second for Schmaling.
And here's the point, and it's only 2 games into the season, but this is the part of the order that's going to have to produce for Craig, because the top half of that lineup is loaded, and they're going to hit, and they're going to get on base. But what can the bottom part do? I mean, these guys are...
Hessling had a couple of hits yesterday.
Yep, you start with Schmaling, March. March played a little bit last year. Kusmal and Hessling, and those are guys that were primarily JV players last year. And now all of a sudden, you step up to varsity, and it's a pretty big step, especially in the Big 8 Conference, because there's some pretty good teams you're going to play against. So this is, as the year goes on, we'll see if the bottom part of Craig's lineup can produce.
Here comes Terrell on the 1-2. It's hit to third, gloved by Nickel, and he will run down Malmanger in the base path, but the runners do advance to first and second, so Malmanger is out. And there's first and second with 2 down now for Ross March, the left fielder. So 2 down. Brennan at second, Schmeling at first, opening pitch. A little bit wide of the mark outside.
Our good friend Russell Larry behind the plate today. Good to see Russ out there.
One of the guys that still sticks with officiating, because not a whole lot of them do. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1 for March. There's a good article about officiating a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and we got another one coming up, a big series, and next weekend, a three-day series where we're just kind of looking at the whole overview of the whole thing and just what a major problem it is right now, because they're just, when guys like Russ are done, hopefully it's a long time off, but when it happens, there's no new guys there to stick in. So it's the lack of officials, especially in sports like baseball and gymnastics and wrestling, is very prevalent.
Runner goes to third, and in there with another stolen base. Third of the inning is Brennan slides it safely on the swing and a miss from March. So it's 1-2, but now runners at first and third for Janesville Craig with 2 down. So 3 stolen bases. Malmanger swipes 1, Brennan has 1, and so does Berghammer.
And those, no disrespect, but those are on the pitcher. I mean, you can't give them that big of a lead.
1-2 pitch. That one's hit foul on a liner first base side. March stays alive at 1-2. 2 down, 2-1 Cougars, bottom of the first.
And again, Terrell's a sophomore. He'll learn to hold runners on and be a little bit more cognizant of what's going on in the bases, because a team like Craig, like you said, they will run wild if you're not going to pay more attention to them.
Terrell looks in. Comes set, and here's the pitch. Curveball that didn't really curve. Defensive indifference as Schmeling goes down to second, and it's 2-2 now, as Brennan was checking to see if Dahman was going to throw down to second, and maybe he would have broken for the plate.
Well, the one thing I think Terrell's going to have to work on as he gets more accustomed to pitching at this level is his leg kick with runners on base is
There's
really
a
high.
Little fly and a little hop from the second baseman Van Natta, and he makes the grab for out number 3. So we're through 1. Janesville Craig gets 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits. And 2 errors in the field for Milton. 2 men left on base. We're through 1 at Veterans Field. Craig 2, Milton 1. We'll be ready to go here at Veterans Field for inning number 2. Jerry Lipke, the first baseman, will lead off, followed by the DH Memphis Moore, and then the third baseman Bailey Nickel, as Berghammer out on the mound for his second inning. And there's a first pitch swing and a pop fly to right center. Who's going to call it? The right fielder, Kussmaul, calls off Brennan, and there's 1 up and 1 down. And the batter will be Memphis Moore, the junior DH.
And I think more than anything, you tell Berghammer your first time out, not sure if he's on a pitch count. My guess would be yes.
Yeah.
He may go 4 innings, or depending on how the game goes. But, I think more than anything, you want to work on your pitches and work on some off-speed stuff. But more than anything, throw strikes. Don't walk kids, and don't get yourself in a situation where your pitch count rises, and you might only be in the 3rd inning or something. So just get ahead. A good start there with a first pitch out, and that's what you want.
First pitch swinging strike now from Moore as he fouls it towards the Craig dugout. That one bounces up off the plate into Campbell for ball 1. It's 1-1 to Memphis Moore. 1 down here in the top of the second. Craig with a 2-1 lead. Here's Berghammer coming back. About a half a swing, but he held up. Ball goes past Campbell to the backstop.
Now, were you ever going to be Janesville Goldberg, or no?
No.
No?
Will not.
No? All right. I like that. Memphis Moore.
Sure.
That's a great name.
Sounds like a country
It's
artist,
a great
to
name.
be honest. 2-1 pitch. Here comes Berghammer. That one inside. 3-1. 2 hits for the Cougars, 1 for the Red Hawks. But a couple of errors in that first inning for Milton. Here's the pitch from Berghammer down the middle. Swing and a foul as it drops right at his feet. And it's a full count now to the designated hitter for Milton. A couple of juniors in the lineup with Moore and Nickel and Dahman. Also one sophomore in Colin Schutz. Here's the windup of the pitch by Berghammer. Again, bounces low, and he issues a walk to Memphis Moore. So runner aboard for the Red Hawks, and Bailey Nickel, the third baseman, will be up. Also a right-handed hitter. Haven't had a lefty here.
No. And that one, Noah tried to throw that one by him instead of just getting it over and let your defense do the work. He tried to throw that one by him and got away from him. Second walk of the game, and that brings up the 8-hitter. So
runner aboard is Moore at first base. Here's the opening pitch, taken high for ball 1 on Nickel. Berghammer checking the signs with Campbell. 1-0 pitch, here it is. And a snap throw down to first base, wide of the mark into right field, but right on it is Kussmaul. A little bit off the bag for Malmanger to handle.
Well, it's almost like Jake's got to try that throw back to first because...
for sure, keep him honest.
Well, nobody runs on him, so he doesn't get any other chance to show his arm off, so he's got to throw behind the runner at first.
Keep the arm limbered up.
To at least get a chance to show his arm off a little bit.
1-1 is the count. Here comes Berghammer again, and that one's over for a strike on the outside part of the plate. 1-2 to Bailey Nickel, the junior third baseman.
Yeah, his dad, Pat, told me yesterday they were, I think, 4 different Major League scouts there at Lake Geneva. Red Sox and Royals and a couple others. Yep.
That one hit pop fly to right field. Shading back on it is Kussmaul. He gets under it, makes the grab. So there's 2 outs for the left fielder, Colin Schutz.
So no lefties in the lineup for the Red Hawks.
Does not appear that way.
Left fielder, Colin Schutz.
So the fly to right from Nickel will bring up Schutz. Sophomore. Likely pressed into action due to a couple of absences for Milton. Here's the opening pitch from Berghammer. Again, touches that outside. He likes... been going there for the last couple of hitters.
Yeah,
Strike one.
This is almost through the lineup one time. We have no strikeouts yet, but, I'd say mixed reviews, couple of walks, an unearned run, like everybody else. It's early in the
lays
season.
down a bunt, and it's a good one. Berghammer has to go get it. He'll go to first, and he gets him by about half a step.
Nice bunt, better play.
So Berghammer with the throw to Malmanger for the third out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left as we go to the bottom half of the second. Craig 2-1 over Milton at Veterans Field at Riverside Park. Intermittent cloud cover. Pretty good crowd out here for a Good Friday afternoon baseball game.
There is a good crowd, and I don't think we're going to have to worry about anybody getting sunburned.
No.
I think we're okay there.
I think that's for sure. So bottom of the second inning for Janesville, Craig. Leading it off will be the right fielder, Tresson Kussmaul. Takes one outside for ball 1. Followed by Jacob Hessling, and then back to the top of the order in Dan Blomgren. Here's second pitch by Terrell. It drops in there for a strike. 1-1 to Kussmaul.
Kussmaul's a good athlete, kid that I was impressed with on the football field.
For sure.
And just can't seem to avoid the injury bug.
1 for 3 yesterday against Lake Geneva. Here it is, off the end of the bat, foul against the screen near the Milton dugout. 1-2 now to Kussmaul. Craig with the lead, 2-1. Doubles him up in hits as well with 2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside, just gets a piece of it back to the screen off the end of the bat. It'll stay 1-2. Fletcher Terrell on for his second inning of work for Milton. Defense playing Kussmaul pretty much straight up. Curveball bounces a little bit low and skips away from Dahman. as Blomgren will run that down. It'll be 2-2 to the Cougar right fielder. Also a couple of juniors in the lineup for Janesville Craig. Kussmaul's one. Here is the pitch, and there's a line drive into right field, and he starts the second inning off with a base hit.
Yeah, good at bat. I went with the pitch there, hit it hard to right field, and again, I got to believe the wheels will be in motion here as Kussmaul runs well, and the Cougars with 4 stolen bases the first inning, and I don't see any let up on their part. And again, it's not a reflection at all on Caleb Dahman. It's just the catcher. It's just like I said, Fletcher Terrell's got as he gets more innings on the mound and more varsity experience, he'll realize that you can't have that high of a leg kick with guys on base because your time to home plate is just too long, and guys are going to steal on you, and that's the case. And I think that's something that they'll work on.
Move to first, and Kussmaul is back. Here comes Terrell, and he goes for the bunt, fouls it. As Kussmaul took off, Hessling fouled it back, and it's 0-1. Hessling yesterday against the Badgers was 2 for 3, drove in a run.
And played well in the field, too. And a nice game defensively, they said. So a good start for him. I know it's artificial turf over on Badger.
Oh, that's a sweet field.
Well, and did you hear what they used for their
olive
pits? I've never heard of crushed olive pits.
Here's the pitch outside, 1-1.
I mean,
Hessling. I didn't know that there was a market for those.
I just, at some point, did somebody just inadvertently have olives on a sandwich and it fell down and they crushed it and it said, hey, this would work well for...
I think probably Grandpa Luxinger could have sponsored that from how many martinis we...
well, you don't know about that. Maybe it was Stump's Hot Olives that he was having.
But no, it looked like a good field, and they said that the hops are more true to a normal
that's
grass.
What I heard.
And you don't get the skips that you do when there's a little divot in the dirt. 1-1 pitch, and it's in the dirt, and the runner goes.
That was a delayed steal, but I'll give him a stolen base.
All right, so Kussmaul into second. Runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the bottom half of inning number 2, and a 2-1 count to Hessling.
But like I said, with all the millions or billions of dollars that are spent on research and everything, who decided that olive pits would be something that would be useful? I mean,
foul back to the screen, evens it at 2 apiece. There's got to be somebody who's just trying any sort of substance he can. Let's try this. Let's try that. So I did send an email over to the.
Is it just turkey dinners all Thanksgiving all year round? You just round up all the olive pits you can find, and it's like taking in aluminum cans, I guess.
Right. 2-2 pitch again, fouled back by Hessling as he stays. I don't know how you come up with that.
I don't either.
I emailed Jim Klug, the athletic director. I wanted to check out the price and how they came to that conclusion, where they got the research from, and how they decided on it. He's taken an extended spring break, too, though.
Well.
2-2 pitch coming up from Terrell, and here it is. That is upstairs on Hessling, and he's run it full now. 3-2, nobody out. Runner on second is Kussmaul. Blomgren is in the on-deck circle, back to the top of the order after this.
And like I say, the one thing we're seeing with Terrell is that pitch count's getting up there. We're only in the second inning, and he's got to be well over 30 pitches by now.
Steps off the mound, and Kussmaul goes back to second. What are we at, Marty? 39
pitches, and we don't have an out yet in the second inning. So
here it is, 3-2. There's a line drive just over the leaping glove of Sam Beers into left center. And misplayed briefly by left fielder Colin Schutz, but can advance. Kussmaul stays at second.
You just don't see that very often. A base hit with a runner on second that goes over the infield, and the runner can't advance. But he had to hold up because wasn't sure Beers could make the play. But again, now you're first and second, nobody out, and you're at the murderer's row portion of your lineup with Blomgren, Berghammer, Campbell, and Malminger.
Blomgren opened the game with a single, and then advanced on an error, and then a wild pitch, and then scored the game's first run. Moved back to second, nobody covering.
And I would say probably in a Big 8 game, let's say you're playing some Prairie or Parker or somebody like that, this probably is a bunt situation. First and second, nobody out. But I think today, non-conference, I think the Cougars feel like they're going to score enough runs,
Well, he squares to bunt, takes one.
And that might have been just a case to see what the defensive setup was going to be for Milton. So we'll see what they do here. But again, Vic may just choose to let Blomgren swing away here.
Blomgren steps back in. Terrell on the mound. 1-0 pitch. Squaring again is Blomgren. Takes back and takes ball 2. 2-0 to Dan Blomgren. Craig with a 2-1 lead. Blomgren and Berghammer scored their 2 runs. And there's nobody out. Blomgren at the plate now. Berghammer on deck. Runners at first and second for Craig. Terrell with a 2-0 count. Here he comes again squaring and laying down a bunt towards third. That just goes foul halfway up the base path. And it'll be 2-1 as Blomgren comes back to the batter's box.
And there's my pet peeve number 1 of the day. When I've told you this one before.
Tell me.
Why do they call that? A sacrifice bunt.
Okay.
What are you doing? You're giving up an at-bat to move runners around.
Yes.
That was a bunt for a base hit.
Of course it was,
yes.
Because he's one of the guys that can actually beat that out.
Right. But that's my whole point is that, a lot of times, you got to just get in there, and if you're asked to bunt it.
Squares
get
again,
it down
pulls it back, and it's outside 3-1. But yet, you bunt that right up along that line. That's going to be a
right
tough,
idea. I mean, don't get me wrong, right idea. But, if you're asked to sacrifice, then you're sacrificing an at-bat, which you're really not because you're not charging at-bat, but...
3-1 pitch coming from Terrell. Squares again, lays it down. Third base side, immediately foul. And it will be a full count now on Dan Blomgren.
Now the bunt's off.
Yep, hitter situation. Although we did see somebody
tried to get both of those down the third baseline with the first baseman covering, and I understand that. But, again, if you get that down, they're not going to throw out Kusmal at third.
So 3-2, nobody out. Runners at first and second. Terrell comes set, checks second, checks first, and here he comes to the plate. It's outside. Blomgren will take a walk, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Walk number 1, and here comes Chris Agnew to talk to his sophomore pitcher. And, again, I'm not sure what you can tell him in this situation other than, hey, look, I got enough confidence in you, but you got to throw strikes. You can't give him any free passes. This is too good of a team to let guys on base for free. And now you're looking at, 2 of the top hitters in the conference, and Berghammer and Campbell, and this is a tough spot to be in. And when you're a sophomore making your first varsity start on the road, it compounds things even more.
So Blomgren to first, Hessling goes to second, Kusmal ahead to third, and the batter will be Berghammer, who reached on an error by the second baseman Van Natta.
I don't see anyone in the Red Hawks bullpen, so my guess is if they are forced to go to reliever, it's somebody that's already playing.
Well, he's going to stick with Terrell.
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, this, it's a learning experience for him, and you hope going forward that he learns from it. And like I say, this isn't an easy lineup to face for a really good pitcher.
Right. Bottom of the second, 2-1, bases loaded. Nobody out, and here is Noah Berghammer. Opening pitch. Swings at the first one, grounder to short. Beers gloves it, throws to second. Relays in the dirt, blocked by Lipke over at first, but a run scores as Kusmal comes in from third. Advancing to third is Hessling. Blomgren is out at second, and Berghammer is at first as he drives in his second run of the day.
Yep. Good pitch there from Terrell. Got the ground ball that he wanted. Wasn't hit hard enough to get 2 against Berghammer, but you got an out. You trade an out for a run right now if you're Milton because, like I say, you don't want to fall too far behind.
So Hessling is at third. Runner goes, and the throw down to second. He skips into center field, and a run's going to score as Hessling comes in, and Berghammer goes all the way to third base.
Well, with our buddy Tom Murphy next to us, I believe on a 3-hopper to second, I got to give the error to the catcher on that one. Yes, okay. Mr. Murphy says yes. So stolen base, error, and Hessling scores on the E2.
All right. So Jacob Campbell took the pitch for ball 1, but Berghammer all the way over now at third base. 1 out. And outside for a 2-0 count now to Campbell, who flew out to center in his first at-bat.
It's just, you almost feel bad for Jake because if the guys ahead of him and behind him aren't going to hit, he's not going to see anything to hit all year.
Mm-hmm. Here's the pitch. That's upstairs, and it floats away, and coming in to score easily is Berghammer as it popped off the top of the glove of Caleb Dahman, rather, and back to the screen. And Craig now with a 5-1 lead.
5-1, 3-0 count. Let him hit. I'm letting him hit.
Green light.
Yep, let him hit. I might even swing if it's above my head just so I can get maybe another chance to swing.
Here's the windup. Outside, and Campbell will take the free pass strike. Call the strike on the outside. Right. Okay.
Well, I hope he walks because it's already written in the book as a walk.
I'm kind of with you. Late strike call.
Although if he hits it out of the park, I could probably change that and nobody would notice.
I would think so. Here's one down the middle, and it's popped foul first base side, and Terrell comes back to work him full now. 3-2 to Jacob Campbell. One down, Craig with a 5-1 lead. We're in the bottom half of the second.
Full count against Campbell. Do you dare throw off speed?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Here it comes. Way outside and back to the screen. And the walk stays true.
Yes. Walk number 2.
Runner on first with one out for Luke Malmanger. Malmanger with an RBI single, stole a base last inning, and then was out at third. And he steps in with Campbell, who can run. Catcher can run. And squares for the bunt, pulls back, but takes a strike.
And Jake's battling a hand injury. He's got a stress fracture in his left hand that he got from gripping the bat below the knob, and it's bothered him. Has seen a couple of specialists. His dad said that it's coming along, but it's not completely healed, and it may be something that bothers him all year. And
Campbell goes to second, and he's in there with a head-first slide and another stolen base. So Craig moves a runner into scoring position with one out.
And again, getting back to the injury, it's right on the outside of his left hand, and it's just a matter of the constant torque that he gets when he grinds into the bat.
Sure.
And the specialist said, it's something that I could operate on, but you'd be out for
that's not
pretty extended period of time. I know some scouts in that are suggesting that maybe, so he doesn't hurt his draft stock, that he sits out. But Jake, being the team guy that he is and wanting to be with his buddies, he said, no, I'm going to play, and hopefully he's on the road to recovery with that, because it'd be a shame if we didn't get a chance to see him play his senior year. So
2-1 count to Malmanger as Terrell stepped off, put Campbell back to second. He's dancing off the bag now, comes to the plate, and that one into right field shallow. It's going to drop for a base hit. Campbell headed back to the bag, but he now advances to third late. He thought that one might have been caught by Tanner Williams.
He was going to get ready to tag, but he wasn't going to score on that play anyway. So Craig right back in business, first and third, one out. And
Malmanger 2 for 2 on the day, and now runners at first and third with one out, and the batter will be J.J. Brennan.
And it's not like the Cougars are pounding the ball around the field, but you look up and it's 5-1, and that's what they do to you.
But how many, you got 6-7 stolen bases already?
And that's what they do. They just keep coming after you. And, again, Milton's a little shorthanded, and some younger guys in the lineup that you may not see as the year goes on, but, not a good spot for the Red Hawks right now with Craig, really threatening to blow this thing open, and it could get away from Milton if they can't put a stop to this right now.
Brennan takes inside for ball 1. JJ drew a walk, was hit by the pitch, and then stole a base, reached third. And here's a ground ball third base taken by Nickel. He throws over to first and gets the out, but run scores. It's 6-1.
RBI for Brennan.
Yep, as JJ.
And that was a contact play. Jake was on the move as soon as the ball hit the bat, and another run, 6-1, 2 outs, and I think it's imperative right now for Terrell, if he's going to be around after this inning, to get out of this without any more damage. Craig's almost batted around the order, and he's thrown a lot of pitches. I would say he's probably so he's 60 pitches right now on 2 innings. That's 30 an inning. That doesn't last long.
Clark Schmaling, the DH, is up, reached on a fielder's choice. made it to second. So runner on second is Malmanger. 2 down and an 0-1 count for Schmeling. And we've got action in the bullpen there as Mr. Murphy alerts us.
Radar Eye Murphy says that's number... He can't tell us that.
That one drops low. 1-1 on the pitch from Terrell to Schmeling.
We're going to have Parker coach Brian Martin run down the first baseline to see who's warming up for the Red Hawks. He says we'll need a long commercial break for that to happen.
2 down, 1-1 pitch to Schmeling. And it's in the dirt, and out in front, pops away from Dahman, and Malmanger taking advantage to scoot down to third base.
Why not?
Sure. 6-1, Janesville Craig with the lead over Milton. Count is 2-1 on Schmeling. Ross March, the left fielder, due next. Into the windup, and here comes Terrell. Floats high, and it's 3-1 now. 2 down for the Cougars. Another run in scoring position for Craig. Wouldn't mind tacking one more on. And the windup in the pitch by Terrell. Ooh, just a bit. Nope.
No.
Took first strike.
Russ said that's good enough for me.
3-2 now, full count to Schmeling. Terrell winds it up, and here he comes again. That one lifted right field side. He's going to get out of play. Lipke can't chase it down. So it'll stay full on Schmeling. We'll take a break from our baseball schedule for next week, and then the following week we'll have a Thursday game here with Janesville Parker. I think you're against La Follette. Coach Brian Martin. Sounds good.
It says, yeah, I haven't looked at the schedule yet. I'm not sure who we play. I'm one game at a time.
Low and inside, and Schmeling draws the walk. Runners at first and third for Ross March.
And that'll do
2
it
down.
For
and Terrell is going to get the hook now, I think, from Coach Chris Agnew.
And you know what? I mean, a mixed result for Terrell, but a great learning opportunity for
sure.
him. You know, and again,
he
there's
go back
things he can work on.
Coach probably says, hey, this is the number one preseason team in Division One.
Don't hang your head.
Right.
You're going to get more opportunities, and for him, go back and hopefully somebody videotape this and they can just point out some things to him, because I think he's going to be okay.
So Fletcher Terrell will head out. We've got a pitching change. We'll step out as well and come back with any defensive adjustments, as Ross March will now be the batter for Janesville Craig. Hunter Pernot is the new pitcher for the Red Hawks. Another sophomore.
Yes, another sophomore, and another
guy
kid
that gets thrown into the fire a little bit.
We don't know enough about the kids that aren't here, or whether Mr. Pernot would be part of the varsity rotation or not. But hey, again, today he is, and that's all that matters. And he's going to get a chance, and comes into the tough spot here. Yep. First and third, 2 outs. You're already down 6-1, but
right-handed pitcher. Looks like he's got some decent speed on his fastball and during warm-ups. No other changes in the field, it looks like, for the Red Hawks as Coach Agnew heads back to the dugout. So Malmanger's at third, Schmeling at first. Ross March is the batter. He had a little looping fly ball to center to end the first inning.
And again, with spring break and some guys missing in that, you got to remember Milton had a game yesterday.
Right.
So how many pitchers did they use against Verona?
Right.
How many did they have to begin with? Is it...
You got a pretty deep roster.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, and maybe this is a case with that extra week that they had this year, where you could bring in pitchers and catchers, where every team probably had 30 pitchers on the roster and 9 catchers, and got a chance to do that extra week. I know in talking to Brian Martin at Parker, he said he thought the extra week was awesome because it allowed him that first week of real practice to work on baseball things and not really have to work on conditioning.
Opening pitch is taken for a strike as March squared to bunt, drew it back, but heading down to second is Schmeling.
And that's Craig's 8th stolen base, so they're on pace for 24 stolen bases. I'm not sure what the Riverside record is, but I got to believe 24 would probably top it.
Probably do it. 0-1 pitch from Pernot. swing and a slow ground ball to second. Comes up on Van Natta, throws wide of the bag at third to Lipke, and now 2 runs are going to score. To second will move March.
Those are both unearned. So an
Yikes.
E4, both runs will score on the error, and all of a sudden now it's 8-1, and it's gotten away from the Red Hawks. This is not the start you want to have when you're playing a team like Craig.
At all.
But again, it's a non-conference game, second game of the year. The season's ahead of them.
So an error on the throw by Van Natta, his second today, and March goes to second base as Schmaling and Malmanger come in to score, and as you said, it's 8-1 now in the bottom of the second with 2 down.
And I would think at 8-1 with Berghammer pitching, a guy who you think is going to be pretty effective all season, the Cougars will probably call off the Dogs at least on the base pass. I mean, I don't. I don't.
No reason to keep them up.
There's no reason to keep the merry-go-round going when you're up 8-1, and it's pretty obvious that Milton has gone deep into their pitching rotation.
2-0 pitch to Kusmal. And that one called a strike. 2-1.
And the Cougars, of course, have batted around the order.
Yep.
So.
Kusmal led it off with a single, stole a base, and also scored. 6 runs in the inning. That one outside. 3-1 on the Cougar right fielder. Well, this is could be also an early opportunity to get some kids in for some varsity action as well in the field.
Exactly, and that's what you want. When you've got 15 or 14 kids on the roster, a lot of times...
There's a smash to Van Natta, who dives to his right and makes the grab to retire the side. So Kusmal put a charge into that ball, but a liner to Cam Van Natta. Craig scores 6 runs on how many hits do we have?
3 hits.
3 hits. And
one left on.
I think there's 2 more errors.
Yep.
And 1 man left on base. So at the end of 2, Janesville Craig with the lead over Milton, 8-1. It's an 8-1 ball game as the Red Hawks will bat. Craig puts up 6 in the bottom of the second to go with the 2 in the opening frame. And for Milton, back to the top of the order, and Peyton Belk, Cam Van Natta, and Sam Beers.
Leading off for Milton in the top of the 3rd inning.
Belk reached on an error to start with on a hit to Tegan Christensen at second. Berghammer back on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. And the windup here is the pitch. First pitch, swinging strike. That was headed right back for us.
Right. I would have saved you.
Thank you. 0-1 as it's fouled back against the screen.
And there's a ball up on the screen over here. Where's Bob Schenk to get that down?
Oh, curveball just drifts and catches the outside corner.
Nice pitch. That's probably his best pitch of the day right there.
Good placement by Berghammer. 0-2 to Belk, the center fielder. Into the windup. Here he comes. Outside. That's where Campbell was set up.
Good spot.
Yep. I like the stirrup look.
Yes, I do like the stirrups. That's baseball. Well,
sure.
Even on Belk, too.
Christensen also at second base sporting those. Here's the 1-2 and a nice pitch from Berghammer, swing and a miss, and down goes Belk, the first strikeout of the day.
First strikeout of the day, and those were back-to-back real good. I don't know if they were change-ups or curveballs, but both of them were perfect pitches.
Nice slow-moving balls there. Van Natta, the second baseman, reached on a walk and was out at third and swings at the first pitch. Ground ball scooped at short by Blomgren. Throw to Malmanger in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Sam Beers, the shortstop, who has an RBI single for Milton's lone run.
Now batting shortstop, Sam Beers.
Beers will come up. 2 up and 2 down for the Cougars.
Beers, a senior. He got some all-conference recognition last year in the Badger South. And like I say, Milton, by the end of the year last year, Chris had these guys playing pretty well.
Another swing at the first pitch and a grounder between third and short for a base hit. So Beers 2 for 2 on the day.
Yep.
Right fielder, Tanner Williams.
Just Milton's
Come on, Sam. I know you're fast.
Hit.
Just try to steal second. Just try.
You just want to see Campbell
I do.
throw
I
the
just
ball.
want to see him throw because I just don't think anyone is going to try to steal a base on him all year.
Tanner Williams, the right fielder. Hit into a fielder's choice to Jacob Hessling. Here's the first pitch from Berghammer. Right over for strike one taken.
Berghammer in a pretty good groove right now.
Yep.
Throwing strikes.
The first couple of batters, and then it's...
Yep, and that's what you want. Just go out and throw strikes. If they hit it, tip your hat.
0-1 the count. Doesn't check the runner, and he comes set and throws one right down the middle for strike two, taken by Williams.
Got his curveball working pretty well right now. He's pulling the shade, as they say.
0-2. As Beers sticks close to first. That one high. Taken for ball one by Williams. 1-2 the count. 2 down. Craig with an 8-1 lead. Runner at first is the shortstop. Beers for Milton. And the pitch. Another curveball drops a little bit low for a 2-2 count. Craig bullpen is quiet as well, so we'll see whether they...
Yeah, my guess is
Berghammer out there?
I would think they'd probably give him 4 innings, and then I think Jacob Faust, I would imagine, would come in as well.
Another high fastball taken upstairs. 3-2, and he's run it full now on Tanner Williams.
Problem you run into is you want to get guys in, you want to play, but Craig gets 3 more runs.
Right.
Then you're looking at a 5-inning game, so... you don't tell kids to quit playing hard, but you also got to realize that if you want to get everybody in the game, you got to quit scoring runs.
Right. Snap throw to first, and Beers slides back. Quick pickoff move there by Berghammer.
Yeah, Berghammer's got a good move, and I think that a lot of that is, they set that up ahead of time, whether it's a grab of the knee or the cap, whatever. There he goes.
There's a smash to left. Chasing is March, but it's foul by a few feet past the line in left field. So it'll stay 3-2. Just hung up there a little bit too long.
It did. I thought that might drop originally, but it drifted farther to the left than I thought it was going to.
So still 3-2 to Williams. 0 for 1 on the day with a fielder's choice. Here's the pitch from Berghammer. Again, another high fly ball to left field. This one is going to get out of play.
I think Target might have run out of blankets today because I think they're all in use down here.
Yeah, your lovely spring weather.
Welcome to Wisconsin.
I guess. I'm glad we're playing, though.
Yeah, that's true. Worst places to be.
3-2, still the count to Tanner Williams. Berghammer comes set. Here's the pitch. High and outside, and he walked him. So a walk to Williams. Beers moves to second, and there's 2 on with 2 out, and the batter will be the catcher, Caleb Dahman, who popped out to shortstop.
And just after we talk about Berghammer seems to have settled down and got into a groove.
Bullpen is
a base
ready.
hit and then a walk.
And the bullpen is busy for Janesville, Craig.
Like I say, I'd be surprised if it's not Faust because I think that was the game plan, was going to be Berghammer, Faust, and then depending on where they're at, after that they were just going to make a call on who they felt they wanted to give the best opportunity to get a look at.
Dahman steps in and takes outside a ball. Dahman 0 for 1 today.
Marty, how many pitches for 45 for Noah? So
that's not bad.
It's not bad. Third inning.
1-0 the count. 2 down as Dahman steps out. We're in the top of the third. Rather slow-moving game.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's, this half inning started out quickly with a strikeout and a ground out, but
here's the pitch. Swing and a miss from Dahman. 1-1 on the Milton catcher. 2 down. Berghammer trying to get out of here and go back to the Cougars, who will lead it off with the bottom of the order in Jacob Hessling. Here's the 1-1 pitch. High, snap throw down to first, and he's in there. Malmanger again had to reach into the field for that throw.
Yeah, and he wasn't even at the bag, so even if the throw's on the money, I think if nothing else, it probably hits the base runner, Williams, and
slides back in safely.
Yep.
2-1 the count on the ball on that previous pitch. Campbell's going to get a few people out this year.
Yeah, he'll throw behind guys, and like I say, I just don't think many teams are going to run on him unless they're picking something up from the pitcher.
It's another pop-up in front of the Milton dugout, and Malmanger has that. So a pop fly to the first baseman for the third out for the Red Hawks. No runs on one hit, no errors, and two men left on base. As we head to the bottom of the third, Janesville Craig 8, Milton 1. Back on to pitch for the Milton Red Hawks is Hunter Pernot. Batters will be for Janesville Craig the 9 and then 1-2 spots. Jacob Hessling will lead it off, the third baseman. 1 for 1 today with a run scored. Cougars batted around as Kussmaul hit twice last inning and put up a 6 spot. Good for a 7-run lead. It's 8-1.
I think the temperature drops about 5 degrees every half inning. People look comfortable when we first started. They don't look so comfortable.
Not
right
really.
now.
People are kind of up, moving around.
Yeah, they are.
Rubbing their hands together.
I think I saw somebody toasting marshmallows down there.
That wouldn't be a terrible idea, actually.
Got some four-legged friends down here. They don't seem to mind.
Always fun. We're bringing the family dog out. See a lot of that during the season.
Yeah.
Go chase some geese or some
go
ducks
do whatever
down here.
Hope somebody drops their hot dog. And
So Pernot on the hill to start his second inning of work, and Hessling steps in for the Cougars. First pitch gets the outside corner, good for strike one.
Hessling off to a good start. 3 hits in the first couple of games, and a kid that paid his dues on the junior varsity,
right.
And you're never sure what you have, and we're only 2 games in, but I'd say thus far he's answered the bell.
Fly ball shallow right, just about 6-7 feet on the grass past the infield, and Van Natta will track that down, the second baseman, and that's good for out number 1. So Hessling with a pop to second, and back to the top of the order, and Dan Blomgren, who is 1 for 1 today with a walk.
And you're back at the top of the order where the first 4 batters have been on base 7 of the 8 times.
First pitch drops down low from Pernot.
Campbell's fly out to center field in the first inning was the only one that didn't reach base.
So Blomgren walked and then got out on a fielder's choice in his last at-bat. That one taken for a strike. 1-1. 1 down here, bottom of the third. 8-1. Cougars with the lead on Milton. Here's the pitch. Pulled and yanked up along third base. Foul. In on the hands, but going to pop the hips and...
Vic's got to make a move there. He
down
didn't
there.
move. You can't stand there, Vic. You got to try to make that play. Unacceptable.
1-2 the count to Blomgren. Pernot gets what he wants. Into the windup. Here's the pitch. Curveball. Didn't break as sharply as he was hoping, and a little bit of chin music there for Blomgren, who just ducks out of the way. And 2-2 now the count. Here comes Pernot again. Fast worker. There's a line drive that goes into the Cougar bullpen for a foul ball. He's on him here. Just needs to wait just a split second. Still 2-2 the count to Blomgren. Wind up and the pitch from Pernot. Just off the outside corner and maybe a little bit low. It's full now on the Cougar shortstop. Here he comes again. Ground ball, again foul third base side.
Out in front of everything.
Yep. So Pernot, fast worker. Doesn't wait too long.
No, he's not. Give me the ball, I'll throw it.
3-2 pitch. Here it comes. in the dirt, and Blomgren works another walk, and we'll see how aggressive now the arguably fastest guy in the team is.
Right. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Like I say, it's 8-1, and you don't.
Now batting pitcher, Noah Berghammer.
You got to know when to call.
You don't
want to
show off. No, I mean, and obviously you can't tell kids to quit playing hard.
Right, you got to get your work in still. It's at a situation where you don't necessarily need to get that sort of work in. Clouding up pretty thick now. And, okay, first pitch, and Blomgren heads down to second for another stolen base.
Well, I guess I think back to yesterday when Beloit, Turner, and Evansville, two teams that are both ranked in the top 10 in the state, played.
Tell me about that.
Turner's riding along, Hunter Waldsmith mowing them down, and they're ahead 8-0. I think it was in the 9-0 in the top of the seventh. You think you're in pretty good shape, and they're finishing their game today because the Blue Devils came back and tied it 9-9 on a balk.
Scored 9 runs in the top of the seventh.
Mitch Seeger, who was one of the best players in the state, came in to pitch, and they had a runner on, I believe, first and third or something. Well, he didn't know that the first baseman was playing behind the runner, and he threw to first, and you can't throw to an unoccupied base, and it just got out of hand.
There's a ground ball off the third baseman, Nickel, and it's into left field, and in comes Blomgren to second. Now sliding in is Berghammer.
Well, again, that's a play that's probably got to get made, so I would say E5. Yeah. Error, no RBI.
Boy, tough luck for Berghammer. He's reached twice on there, but hey, he's got a couple of driven in, and he's been on base a couple times.
I'm sure Mr. Nickel will tell you, I got to make that play. Did it take a bad hop? Yeah, it did, but it's right at him, and it's a ball that you got to have, and like I say, the errors are starting to pile up a little bit for the Red Hawks. But
fifth error by Milton, and now Jacob Campbell will be the batter. To second is Berghammer on the hustle play. Nickel tried to backhand that one. I think that went off right of the heel of his glove and skipped about probably 15 feet in the air.
I don't think Dan was going to score right away, and then he saw where the ball was and where the left fielder was and said, well, I'm going to scoot in.
Outside corner, strike one, taken by Campbell, who has a walk and a fly to center. He's also scored. 9-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the pitch by Pernot. That's chopped foul third base side by Campbell. A little bit inside for him. And,
unlike yesterday where, Badger left him that big gap in right center, Milton plays him a little bit more straight up. Yep. The center fielder's a little bit to the left side of second base, but not by a lot. And, I think more than anything right now for Jake, a 9-1 game, I think he's just going to look for a pitch that he can drive. I don't think he doesn't want to walk, and he just wants something he can drive.
0-2 the count. One down. Runner on second is Berghammer. Here's the pitch from Pernot. There's a ground ball to Beers at short. 2 hops, and he goes over to first and gets Campbell by half a step for the out. Berghammer advances to third, but there's 2 down.
Nice play by Beers. He's got a good arm. I mean, that's not an easy throw. Campbell runs well, and Beers picked it, and he got a little velocity on that throw to first. That's twice now that he's made nice plays deep in the hole that, there's some high school shortstops that don't make that play.
Malmanger with a chance to drive in a run as he steps to the plate, swings at the first pitch, fouls it back out of play right field side. 2 for 2 today is Luke with a run scored. He's also got a stolen base and an RBI. Here's the 0-1 taken low, and it's 1-1 now to Malmanger. 2 down, 1 run in for the Cougars, 9-1.
Not seeing many water skiers going by either.
That one low in the dirt and blocked by Dahman.
I thought with spring break we'd see some boating going on, but I'm not seeing much action on the Rock River.
There's going to be one that pops right out of there, so it's our first fishing boat, I think.
Okay, all right. Well, those
of the day.
I think the catfish are biting now. There's,
You could say anything's biting, and I'd probably believe you. I have no idea. 2-1 the count to Malmanger. Here's the delivery by Pernot, inside and low. And it's 3-1 now. Two down for Luke Malmanger, the first baseman.
Yeah, there's a boat.
That one inside, and Malmanger draws the walk. So runners at first and third for J.J. Brennan. 0 for 1 day with a fielder's choice and a walk. After he was hit by a pitch in the first. On deck is Clark Schmaling, the DH. We'll see whether we get...
I was going to say, we'll see what's going on. They're holding him on, so it's...
All right.
There he goes.
Opening pitch and down to second. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. Van Natta can't handle it. And in comes Berghammer from third.
All right. So we got a stolen base, and Berghammer scores on an E4 because he dropped the ball. So, it's...
Boy, Van Natta's got 3 errors today.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough, but it's, you got to keep score.
Part of the game.
You got to count for how somebody advanced.
Malmanger at second now, high and outside to Brennan as he takes ball 1. 1-1 the count to the Cougars center fielder.
Not often you see 240-pound first baseman with 3 stolen bases in the game.
No, for sure. Do you want to answer that? I know.
I'll pass.
Your old sports editor. You going to make the deadline on this game?
He's obviously not tuned into CLO right now.
1-2 the count as Brennan took strike 2. And here comes Pernot. Ball in the dirt, blocked by Dahman, but Malmanger's going to hustle down to third base. Probably wants you to guest host MC for the Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, that's a job for Mr. Goldberg, who does it well, so...
2-2 the count as Dahman heads out to talk to Pernot. Malmanger at third now, advancing on the in the dirt throw.
And you look up and it's 10-1, and Craig's got 5 hits.
Yeah, that's it.
They really haven't hit the ball that hard. Not that they've had to, but it's just a matter of when you get on base and things kind of happen. It's contagious, and that's what's going on right now. They're up to 10 stolen bases, and they're kind of running at will, and it's not.
3-2 pitch to Brennan, and he swings and misses. It pops away from Dahman, who will throw down to first to complete the out. So a strikeout and a throw him out down to first, as the Cougars will get 3, and they grab 2 runs.
No hits.
On no hits. And 2 errors in the inning, and 1 man left on base. We're through 3 at Riverside at Veterans Field. Janesville Craig 10, Milton 1. Craig in the field, heading into the top of the 4th. Looks like Noah Berghammer's day is done on the mound. Jacob Faust comes into pitch. Berghammer will take over for Christensen at second base. Hessling will stay in the game at third. Blomgren will man shortstop.
I'd say an above-average outing for Berghammer. 1 unearned run. Certainly some things to work on. But I think more than anything, he got some innings in.
Mm-hmm.
And he got some pitches, and that's what you want. A day like this, you don't want to use a guy too long. But Faust is another guy that they're counting on. And one of those rare high school kids that's all he does is pitch. He doesn't play anywhere else, and he's okay with that. Vic said he knows his role, and his role is to probably be our number 3 pitcher. And let's face it, there's going to be weeks with the way the weather is in Wisconsin where you're going to need 3 pitchers in a week, and that's what they're counting on Faust for. So he'll get his first crack this year today, and I would assume that depending whether Craig can get another run or not, we may see him or 2 or 3 innings.
10-1 our score in the top of the 4th, as due up for Milton. The 6, 7, 8 spots. Jerry Lipke, the first baseman, will be due up first. Memphis Moore, the DH, followed by Bailey Nickel, the third baseman. As the clouds are starting to thicken up and the temperature is starting to drop here at Veterans Field.
Yeah, they're going to open the swimming pool across the street, but I think it froze up again, so that's not going to happen.
Sure.
The splash pad has got icicles coming out of it. So
Lipke in, had a fly to right. And first pitch goes off the ankle. 1 hops to shortstop. Blomgren with the throw, and he got him.
Great play. Hope Faust is all right there.
Right off the shin of Jacob Faust. Blomgren ran in on it, got it on 1 hop. Thumbs up, I'm good.
Yep.
And the 1 to 6 to 3.
And just,
routine.
More than anything, just soft hands from Blomgren. That's that transfer with that quick ball when it gets you, and you got to transfer it out of your glove and get it over to first. And, obviously a strong enough arm to get there, but that's not an easy play.
Memphis Moore, the DH, who has a walk. And there's a first pitch ground ball right through the hands of Berghammer.
There's an error on Berghammer, and that ball played him, and
that ball was smoked. And going into second is Moore.
Got to get in front of it, Noah.
He hit it on a line.
Tried to Olay that, and 9 times out of 10, that doesn't work.
So Moore into second on the error by Berghammer. And a runner in scoring position with 1 down for Bailey Nickel, the third baseman, also with a fly to right in the second.
2 pitches and...
Yep. Well, Milton, after that first inning, started jumping on that.
Yeah, why not?
First pitches.
The guy's going to throw strikes. Get up there and
another one.
Get your cuts in there.
Swinging a foul back over the Milton dugout on the first base side, and it's 0-1 to Bailey Nickel. Seems like the wind has also started to swirl a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any home run balls today.
No, I would say not. Comes set, does Faust. Curveball drops over in the outside corner for strike 2. 0-2 the count.
Russ said, I like that one. That's a strike.
To Bailey Nickel. Checks the runner. Nobody holding him on. Here it comes, a little bit high. And Nickel lays off. 1-2 the count.
Lights are on?
Yep. And we already got one out.
I was going to say,
left center.
We got to bank out. Maybe we can get on the ladder in between innings and fix that.
So we need some maintenance done here.
Yes. Where's Bob Shake?
1-2 pitch. Another curveball. Slow roller to Malmanger. Nobody's covering. Luke's going to try to beat him back to the bag, and he does. Late break from Faust, but Malmanger took it himself unassisted. So 2 down for Colin Schutz, the left fielder.
Left fielder, Colin Schutz.
As Moore will move to third.
How much would it take for you to change that light?
You couldn't
pay enough?
Nope.
No way?
No way. No way. Opening pitch from Faust is upstairs, ball 1.
I would fate as soon as that ladder started going up in the air, I'd be done.
Nope.
But somebody's got it. I mean,
heights don't. No,
I don't.
Nope.
There's no way.
1-0 pitch. Swing and popped up. And it will get out of play. 1-1 the count to Schutz, who grounded back to the pitcher. Berghammer to end the second. He's 0 for 1 today. 1-1 count. Faust comes set. Here it is. High and outside. 2-1.
Well, with the getting into the conference schedule the next couple of weeks, I got to ask you your thoughts on the new scheduling for the Big 8, where you're playing the same team twice in the same week. Now the Cougars next week open with Madison La Follette, I believe either home or away, but they'll play both on Tuesday and Thursday. You like that? Don't like it? Or kind of a wait and see?
I'm a fan.
Fan of it?
2-2 after that one. We'll expand on that here. Faust's curveball is hit and eats up Malmanger. It's into right field. A run's going to score for Milton on a hard hit ball by Colin Schutz down the right field line. And Moore comes in to score, and it's 10-2 in favor of Craig.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there.
That was.
Schutz. I mean, stayed with a pitch. Got it on the ground hard to first base. Malmanger tried to make an acrobatic play, but base hit and an RBI, and Milton's back on the board, 10-2.
So Schutz drives in a run. He's at first. Moore scores from third. So back to the top of the order, Peyton Belk, the center fielder, who is
1 for 0 for 2 with
0
a
for 2 today.
reached on the air and scored the first run of the game.
First pitch swings and puts it back to the screen. I guess especially the way sectionals ended. I mean, Beloit Memorial played it very strategically, not showing their best pitcher.
Not having Betancourt face Craig during the season.
Until they ran into the sectional semifinals, and he really handcuffed Craig. I mean, he pitched a great game when we were up there. So, I mean, to that end, it was great. They took advantage. Ground ball goes through the pitcher, charging his Berghammer, and throw is late. And an infield hit for Peyton Belk. Advancing to second is Schutz. And the inning will continue.
Belk runs well. I mean, that's that first inning when he beat out the miscue by the Craig second baseman, and that one there, he runs well. And that's, a lot of guys might have given up on that play when you don't hit it that hard, but Peyton ran through it and got a base hit, and Milton with first and second, 2 outs.
And the batter will be Cam Van Natta, the second baseman, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. Here's the pitch from Faust, over for a ball.
Well, I go back to, I was talking to Brian Martin when I was doing the Parker preview, and he talked about a kid from West a few years back. I think it was Simon Rosenbaum Larson or something like that. Just a guy that really threw well. And he ended up pitching in college somewhere, and Marty said, I think we faced that guy 6 times in 3 years, and he said other teams like Sun Prairie and Craig never saw him.
Ground ball to Berghammer by Van Natta, and Berghammer comes up with the throw on to first for out number 3 for Milton. 1 run on 2 hits.
1 error and 2 left.
1 error and 2 men left on base. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, Janesville Craig still with the lead. It's 10-2. Josh and John back at Veterans Field at Riverside Park with a 10-2 game as Hunter Pernot will come out for his 3rd inning of work for the Red Hawks. Looks like...
Vic Herbst and Russ are talking about who's got the best burgers on a Friday night, where they're going to go afterward, because this is one of the longest conversations I've ever seen. But I got to believe a wholesale of changes because, like I said, if Craig gets 2 more runs here and then holds them in the 5th, the game's over. So... we already got 1 change. Bailey Nickel now catching for the Red Hawks.
That's what I thought.
Caleb Dahman moves to 3rd, so I think Caleb Dahman's arm's probably ready to fall off after watching Craig run around the bases. And again, it's not his fault.
No, of course it's not.
It's not all his fault. A lot of those were stolen on the pitcher, just a matter of getting a good read and a good jump.
Well, I was going to say, give the Craig runners credit as well.
Exactly. I mean, that's Craig baseball, and that's what they're going to do to everybody this year. And we're going to run. You try and stop us.
I guess continuing with your thought on the new rule or the new scheduling.
Right.
I mean, Beloit Memorial certainly taking advantage of the system, but I think if you want to find out who the true best team is, you look at overall depth, and when you have to measure that with how many players you have, and you're not able to, hold back anybody if you want to beat some better conference opponents. This is kind of a more of a true measure of that, in my opinion.
It is. And
it seems like the coaches seem to agree with that.
And I think you got to let it play out. I think in the case of, like yesterday, I was in Edgerton, or in Jefferson to watch Jefferson Edgerton play. Now we're not even in April yet, and they've already played their 2 games each other. They won't see each other again. So, I mean, it's a chance that a lot of times, especially this early in the year, you just, and let's face it, with both of these teams as a leadoff hit by pitch.
The pitch by
Schmaling hit by a pitch.
Burnett just grazed Clark Schmaling, so he's already aboard on a hit by pitch on the very first throw, and now Ross March, the left fielder, will hit. March today is 0 for 2, reached on an error, and swings at the first pitch. That's a one-hopper to Van Natta. He's got it. Flipped to second, and a double play on a turn. Van Natta to Beers to Lipke.
And again, Beers throwing just a strong arm. Beers has got a good arm. I mean, it's... he had a little mustard on that throw back to first. I didn't think there was a chance to get him after the ball was originally bobbled, but a good clean throw to first, and a rare double play against Craig.
4-6-3 on the...
And Cody Logderman will be pinch hitting for Kusmal.
Okay. Logderman swings at the first pitch, drives it to left center. If it's back, it's deep, and it will one-hop the warning track. Logderman to second, and he's going to try, and no, he's going to hold up. He's caught between, and the throw back, and he's out at second. Went too far rounding the base on a double by Logderman, and then gets thrown back behind him to second for the third out.
You get
your
name in the scorebook for the double, but then you got to answer the kangaroo court for getting picked off the second. So
Cody Logderman swings at the first pitch and just rips one to the gap in left center. No runs, one hit, no errors, and nobody left.
I'm glad we could talk about that scheduling, Josh, that inning.
Well, we can probably carry that through the next couple at this point. Josh and John on a group of changes for the Milton, or I should say the Janesville Craig Cougars, and now we're getting late word here on a couple other. We'll recap these here in just a second. So Micah Overly will come in and play third base for Jacob Hessling. And Cody Logderman, who just ripped that double, is going to replace Tresson Kussmaul in right field. And at first base is Ryan Herbst in place of Luke Malmanger. And the first batter for Faust will be number 11 for the Red Hawks. It's popped up shallow right. In is Logderman, calling off Berghammer and making the catch. That's Beers, 1 up and 1 down for Milton. And the batter will be Tanner Williams, who is 0 for 1 today with a walk.
I think the batters are sensing that the crowd's
thinning out?
Well, no, I think that they're cold. I mean, I think that's why everybody's swinging at the first pitch.
Well, that one drops in for a strike taken by Williams. Here's the windup by Faust. And curveball is popped up in front of the plate. Campbell's going to come out, and he will catch it, calling off
the pitcher who's right in front of him.
So an F2 on that one. 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down.
No, I think, and like I say, quickly just to get back to the scheduling part, and for those that don't understand or don't know what we're talking about, this year the Big Eight, whoever you're playing that week, you'll play them home and away. And for the first time that I can ever remember, Parker and Craig will play each other on a Tuesday and Thursday the same week.
And so that Thursday game is a night game.
Is a night game at 7 o'clock, where hopefully it's about 30 degrees warmer than it is right now. But, you know, it's a case for Parker. When you look at Craig and obviously Mitch Wolfley, one of the top pitchers around, you know, if you see him on Tuesday, you're not going to see him on Thursday or vice versa. And I think it's a true test of, you know, how deep is your pitching staff and how far can you go with kids that, you know, you might be able to throw against the good teams because you don't play them at, you know, maybe a month apart or something like that. So it's going to be interesting. There are some teams that, you know, Craig plays. They don't play Sun Prairie twice in the same
Saturday.
week. They're both Saturday games. So those are obviously the two best teams in the league. But it'll be interesting. I know I've talked to some coaches from the Rock Valley. They aren't real high on it.
Well, they're not fans of playing a conference schedule.
Right.
So early, like the Coach Gregory said for Edgerton just the other day. That's the fact that you're playing conference games at the end of March says is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And you're looking for non-conference games just to get kids acclimated to the varsity level, and they weren't able to do that. And then you throw in the fact that Jefferson's the number 2 team in the state, and you're kind of against the wall there. But
5-pitch walk to Caleb Dahman. And he is aboard with 2 down, and now the first baseman, Jerry Lipke, will step in. He is 0 for 2 today, but he hit one hard off Faust to open last inning.
I think the good thing about it is, you know, you're guaranteed a home game every week. You're not going to spend, you know, there were years where
time on the road.
Yeah, you're on the road for 2 weeks or something.
There's a pop-up behind second. Calling for it is Berghammer, and he will take it for the third out.
Quick inning.
So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Craig with a 10-2 lead over Milton. Veterans Field, site of our opening broadcast of the baseball season. These two teams played yesterday. Craig with a win at Lake Geneva. Milton with a home loss to Verona. And right now it's 10-2 as the batter will be Micah Overly. to lead things off. First lefty we've seen here.
Yeah, and Overly, again, a guy that Craig, the coaching staff, really felt did a nice job yesterday coming in relief pitching-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, one of those unknown, quantity things that you have that you're not sure what you're going to get. And it's it's a small sample margin of what could happen. But one game, they were impressed with what he brought, and they liked his demeanor. They liked the way he came out and threw. And if a pitching staff that's already pretty deep can get even deeper, then that's not good for their opponents.
So Overly will step in.
Craig in the bottom of the fifth inning.
Hunter Pernott still on the mound for the Red Hawks. Overly, a junior, lefty batter, but a right-handed thrower. And the first pitch from Pernott is nicely done in the outside corner for strike one.
Russ said, I'm going to give you that one. I'm going to give you that one.
That was a good pitch.
I think on a different day, that's a ball, but Russ said, hey, enough. Fish fry's waiting, and I'm gonna get to the point where you better be swinging.
That one a little too far outside. 1-1 the count. Here's the windup and the pitch by Pernott. That's over for strike two. Taken. 1-2 the count.
Go up and get your hacks in.
Leadoff batter of inning number 5 for Janesville Craig. And curveball high and outside.
And it looks like Vic's probably going to stick with those guys at the top of the order. He's not going to pinch hit for them. So you'll have, Blomgren, Berghammer, Campbell coming up, and they only need 2 runs. So we'll see what happens. If Overly gets on here, it'll be interesting to see if, they look for stolen base, number 11 on the day? Or
3-2 count to Overly. Here it comes, and there's a little shallow hit into right center field. So Overly delivers. Janesville Craig with another base hit, and leadoff batter is aboard. Back to the top of the order, and Dan Blomgren, who has walked twice and singled. He's also scored 2 runs.
Well, what do you want from your leadoff hitter? Get on base and score. Well, that's what he's done. Got on base 3 times, scored twice, a stolen base. I mean, that's why he's your table setter.
He squares to bunt, drops it down again, third base side foul. Tried to bunt one other at bat.
Yeah, he is. He's persistent.
Yep.
He's persistent. He wants to get that down.
It's part of the game that is always tough to perfect.
Yeah, it is.
You never know when you're going to be asked to do it.
Well, it's a lost art. All you got to do is watch a major league game and realize that bunting is a lost art. I go back to growing up. Rod Carew was just one of the greatest bunters ever.
Lays it down again. It's out in front. Pernott fields it, throws to first in time. And out number 1 on the fielder's choice as Blomgren moves Overly to second. And that is a 1-3 putout for out number 1.
Second baseman.
And now Noah Berghammer will be the batter. He's reached on an error twice.
And a fielder's choice. So he's 0 for 3 with 3 runs scored.
Well,
odd-looking stat
line. A
little
bit. First pitch over is taken for a ball to Berghammer. 1-0. Runner at second, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. There's strike 1. 1-1 the count to Berghammer. Can we possibly get the coach's box enlarged?
Or have Vic thrown out of the park, one of the two. My vote would be throw him out of the park.
Okay.
If he can't be where he's supposed to be.
Ground ball to short, picked backhand by Beers.
Nice
strong
play,
throw.
Beers.
Good play by Beers at shortstop to
nice
get Berghammer.
Play. He's smooth out there. I'll give him credit. I didn't know much about Sam Beers, but I've been impressed with him defensively.
6-3 on the putout, and there's 2 down. Still a runner in scoring position, but now 2 outs for Jacob Campbell, who's 0 for 2 with a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. And the opening pitch from Pernott is upstairs for ball 1.
I think Beers could play on our softball team.
What do you mean, our softball team?
Well, I think he could play.
Well, that's for sure. Are you still retired?
I'm retired, yes.
Okay. 1-0 pitch. Outside. Dropping a little bit low. Blocked by Nickel, the catcher. 2-0.
Well, a long ball here ends it.
The wind seems to have kind of died.
Well, if anyone
down
could hit one out
bit.
on a day like this, it'd be Jake. So he may not get a pitch to hit, though. But
2-0.
Oh.
Do you think he was hearing us a little bit?
Oh, man. I think the people in Milton felt the draft on that one. Holy cow.
Swing and a miss from Campbell. 2-1. It's a good pitch to hit, though. He took a mighty hack at that. Here's the 2-1. There's a smash to short. One hopper to Beers. Double clutches and throws to first in time for the out. So a leadoff single, but that is about it. No runs, one hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Craig 10, Milton 2. We'll have Brewers and Padres game 2 tonight. Little late.
What do they do? Okay, what's the defense tonight for the Brewers? We were talking about that. Right-handed pitcher. Who's sitting? Who are you going to sit?
Well, if Braun's in left field, council's already said Santana's going to sit.
He is going to sit. Okay,
that's what he said at the beginning of the season.
The guy with 30 home runs on your bench.
I'm not.
I know. No, I'm just saying. Guy with 30 home runs is going to sit on your bench.
Well, what else are you going to do?
Well,
I know you say I signed Eric Thames, but
I know.
To me, Ryan Braun's your full-time your full-time first baseman.
Okay, I agree with you there, but now you got 4 first basemen.
Well,
Choi and Aguilar and Braun and Thames.
They just signed some Jennings.
Choi may end his season batting 1,000 because as soon as Jennings comes aboard, I'm sure Choi will get sent down unless they decide Aguilar is the odd man out.
Memphis Moore will be the batter. Fouls one off from Christensen to start with, and now takes ball 1 on the outside. 1-1 is the count to Moore, who is 0 for 1 today with a walk. He also scored a run, reaching on an error. Teagan working pretty fast. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and strike 3, I guess. We were already up to 2 strikes there.
Russ now giving the hitters only 2 strikes. You've got to put the ball in play after only 2 strikes, or you're done. Fish fry, it's Good Friday, and I want to get out of here.
Now batting catcher, Bailey Nickel.
Let's just point out that that's not accurate.
No, it's not accurate. We just missed. We were talking and missed one of the strikes.
So Bailey Nickel now doing the catching will step in. And ball 1 on the outside.
Certainly won't be the first time this year that'll happen.
No, I'm sure. We were talking for an entire batter.
Yes.
1-0 to Nickel. He's 0 for 2 today. He's made the second out both times. Has a chance to do it again. Fly ball into foul territory as Blomgren goes all the way over into the left field foul ground and calls off Overly to make the catch.
I thought that might have a chance to hit a car, and it came all the way back into the park. The wind is swirling up above us.
Into the jet stream.
Man.
So Colin Schutz will get a chance at Christensen now. 2 up and 2 down for Christensen. As Schutz is 1 for 2, swings at the first pitch, fouls it back to the net. He's driven in a run and reached second base. Christensen already with a new baseball into the windup. Here's the 0-1 pitch, high and inside for 1-1 now. As the bottom of the 6th is coming up for Craig. 1-1 delivery. A little bit inside. 2-1 to Colin Schutz. Milton with 4 hits, 2 runs, but a big spot in that E column.
Yeah. Errors and stolen bases allowed, and that's been the difference. Again, Craig Overly hit the ball hard to left center on the double. A couple other balls hit hard, but nothing great for the Cougars hitting-wise.
3-1 pitch from Christensen, fouled back to the fence, and it's full now. 3-2 with 2 outs.
I mean, the toughest hitter in the lineup, Campbell, is 0 for 3. So, I mean, they've done a good job with him. It's just, like I say, Cougars got their track shoes on early, and that's been the difference.
Here's the pitch from Christensen. Ground ball, second base. Berghammer gloves it. Flip to Herbst at first. And it's 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, No errors, nobody left for Milton. Bottom of the sixth coming up. It's Craig 10 and Milton 2. Bottom of the sixth here at Riverside Park. Milton down to its last 3 outs, and hopefully the Cougars going to get some of these subs in, get some at-bats as Ryan Herbst will come to the plate in place of Luke Malmanger, followed by, I don't think Brennan's out there, at least on deck or not. Oh, here he comes. He was still in center last we checked. Ross March and I think Clark Schmaling are still out there as well. But Herbst will get the at-bat to lead things off as Hunter Pernott still on the mound for the Redhawks. And the throw down is a good one from Nickel, who's doing the catching. Caleb Dahman still at third. Not many fielding changes for the Redhawks outside of.
I think I saw Vic and Ryan, his son, talking before the at bat, and I think he said, "Dad, if I hit one out of here, can I have Culvers tonight?" And I think that's the game plan.
All right, low and inside. Got to get one to hit first.
Otherwise, it's
ball one.
Otherwise, it's ramen noodles. I think so. It's a big at bat for Ryan right here.
He can get used to that in college. 1-0 pitch from Pernott. Outside corner, strike one. 1-1 to the first baseman, Ryan Herbst. Wind up from Pernott. There's a blast to center.
Get out of here.
Going back on it is Belkin, makes an over-the-shoulder catch.
Hit that hard.
Put a good drive into it.
Yeah, he did. Hit that hard.
So a fly out to center to start with for Herbst, and now Brennan will be the batter.
Now batting center fielder
JJ 0 for 2 today. He was also hit by a pitch. And one of the only few batters to not score for the Cougars takes a first pitch strike from Pernott.
Well, and kind of an odd stat for the day, I guess, is, we're second game of the year. The conditions aren't the greatest. I count 3 strikeouts the whole day.
I think you're right.
Whoops.
Third base, and Dahman can't handle it. And that'll be an E5, and Brennan will reach. And now the batter will be Clark Schmaling, the DH. Schmaling 0 for 1 today, and a couple of walks.
Unofficially, error number 7 for the Redhawks. That's
a lot.
That's something they got to work on. Yeah, that's in a lot of those. Could be correctable, but you gotta cut those down.
Squaring to bunt and going down to second as Nickel can't handle the pitch. Tried to get it out of his glove and couldn't. And down to second with a stolen base is Brennan.
Stolen base number 12 for the Cougars.
Give an error to the catcher on that at all?
No, he was going on the play, so you can't assume an out. So we'll give him a stolen base. Right. Brennan's on the board with a stolen base. His second. He stole third earlier.
Schmaling takes ball 1 as the steal on the first pitch was a taken strike. And now it's even at 1-1. 1 down, bottom of the 6th, Craig with a 10-2 lead. There's a curveball.
I just saw a flock of geese do a U-turn and head back south. We've had enough of this.
2-1 the count. Here's the pitch to Schmaling. Inside corner, strike 2 to even it up. Sounds like somebody's burning some leaves.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Got a bonfire going on. Or that could be the space heater lighting your pants on.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'll feel it eventually.
And Schmaling is hit by a pitch for the second time today.
Second bat in a row, and he will not charge him out. He's going down to first.
Ross March will be the batter, the left fielder.
I always got a kick when the guys in the dugout would yell, "We got ice." Yeah, well, you get up there and stand there and get hit.
Right.
Or he plays hockey. That was another favorite one of mine.
March 0 for 3 today. Swings at the first one, and it's going to be shallow in center, but caught by Peyton Belk on the slide for out number 2, and the runners cannot tag up. And March is retired for the second out, and now Cody Lagerman will be the batter.
I think Belk might have misjudged that right off the bat, but made a nice play. A good adjustment, came in hard, made a nice diving catch on that, and one more out, and the Red Hawks will be able to at least say, hey, we played 7 innings with them. So
Logderman absolutely put a charge into one. Throw down to third is wide as both runners take off.
There's a couple
as
more.
Brennan is down to third, and Schmeling is over to second. Logderman took a strike on the pitch.
13 and 14 on stolen bases. Good. So, base hit here, and I would assume Vic would probably send him if it's to the outfield. So
first at bat, Logderman smashed one to left center and got a double, but went a little bit too far. Here's the pitch, chest high, and it's 2-0 on the new Cougar right fielder. Logderman, school choice in from Clinton, moving to the area. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. 2-1.
Vic texted me to let me know that the Cougar baseball team will be holding a fundraiser on Sunday to buy new pants because they've ripped so many with 14 stolen bases today.
Good call. Meat raffle.
Meat raffle for new pants.
2-1 pitch is inside. 3-1 on Logderman. Maybe you can win a new Easter ham.
Ooh, boy.
Let's do that. By the way, that's not happening.
No, okay.
We don't want to spread fake
don't
news.
Anybody head to East Point to get yourself something.
There's a hit to third. Fair ball. Long throw across the diamond. And the
nice
pick at first is made on the throw from Dahman.
Nice play on both ends there.
So Dahman picks it, and Lipke scoops it on the other end. 5-3 on the putout to retire the side.
No runs on a no hits.
No runs, no hits. One error. And 2 men left on base. We're going to the top of the 7th. Craig with a 10-2 lead on Milton. But it looks like Peyton Belk is coming to the plate. And Christensen on the mound to lead things off against Peyton Belk. Opening pitch of the top of the 7th. Is good for a strike on the inside corner. Second offering is fouled away, first base side, and it's quickly 0-2. Christensen with a new baseball and ready to work against Belk. And here it is. Smashed tomahawk to right, out of play. Stays alive, does Belk.
You know, and Josh, Milton might be a team just as the year goes on. Keep an eye on them. Mm-hmm. You know, Badger South, I don't think there's any dominant team out there that's going to run away with things. And, they get everybody back in the lineup and do some things. No reason that team can't play 500 ball.
Strike 3 on Belk, and there is 1 out in the top of the 7th. Third strikeout for the Red Hawks today.
I think for Milton, 99% of the teams is, can we get some pitching?
Right.
And can we find some depth? Because in Wisconsin, the way the weather is, you're going to have weeks where you got to grind out 4 or 5 games.
For sure.
If you don't have 8 or 9 kids that can throw and throw strikes, because that's what spring baseball is in Wisconsin.
Strike 2 taken by Van Natta, and it's already 0-2 to the Milton second baseman. He's 0 for 2 today with a walk and was out at third on a fielder's choice. Here comes Christensen. A little bit high, 1-2. (10-2) lead for the Cougars. 1 down, top of the 7th. Needs 2 more outs to close it out. Here comes Teagan. Inside for ball 2. (2-2) the count to Cam Van Natta, the Milton second baseman. Here comes Teagan outside, popping away from Campbell. They call it a strike. And a throw down to first to complete it.
Wow.
Thought that might have been a little bit outside. I think Van Natta, too, he kind of stepped out of the batter's box, and the umpire called him out, and Campbell had to throw down to first to complete it. So 2 strikeouts to open the 7th.
I guess I didn't see. I mean, did he offer it? Or did he feel like he offered it? Or he just called it a strike on the outside corner?
He just called it a strike. So 2 down. Beers swings at the first pitch. Whoa, there was a smoke to center that goes right by Blomgren on a nasty hop that kind of came up and breezed by his right ear.
That's fortunate that didn't hop right up into his grill, because that took a really bad hop. But
Beers showing some good stuff at the plate.
I've been impressed with Beers.
He's 3 for 4 today.
3 for 4, and like I say, he's made nice plays at short, has a nice arm. A kid that, like I say, he's a very good high school baseball player.
So still 2 down. Runner at first is Beers for Tanner Williams. Christensen paints the outside corner for strike 1, looking. And that's good for 0-1 to Tanner Williams. Williams today 0 for 2 with a walk. That one drops down a little bit low. Craig with 10 runs on 7 hits. A couple of errors, but has not scored since the 3rd.
But like I say, I think Vic will be the first to tell me that we showed some improvement from game 1, and that's what you want to see.
Down low for ball 2, 2-1 the count. Well, and I think he'll be pleased that he got a chance to get some guys in the first week.
Yeah, and how often in March can you get?
Bench, right.
How often in Wisconsin can you get 2 games under your belt before the end of March? I mean, that's rare.
Fouled third base side, pulled on a rope from Williams. So it's 2-2 now. Final out, final strike if Christensen can retire Tanner Williams. Sam Beers is at second. Here's the pitch. Curveball. Just missed.
Sure if it was up or out.
Not sure.
Might have been up a little bit.
Could have been either.
Yep.
Full count now to the right fielder, Tanner Williams, the senior. And the pitch. Curveball again. Drops in. Strike 3. And this game is over.
Struck out the side.
So Christensen with 3 punch-outs. No runs on 1 hit. No errors and 1 man left. Final score today at Veterans Field. Craig 10, Milton 2. We're back to wrap it up after this from Jackson Monument on WCLO Janesville.